Relic of Rivers is new. Gain alacrity and regeneration at the end of your dodge roll. Interesting. Seems like without an internal cooldown. Okay, sounds sounds not healthy for the game. I think that's for Mirage or Daredevil, something dodge spammy, or Vindicator, of course. It sounds really unhealthy, to be honest. Bunker is incoming. Pretty sure about that. Not good. It's a really good relic, but I think it's not a nice design decision. So, Relic of Sorrow. After using an elite skill, create an area that protects allies and destroys enemy protectors. Heals 30-second cooldown. Okay, interesting. Minus 10% incoming damage. Don't think that's a strong choice. Okay, it's quite a big area. Okay, it pulses this. Interesting. So it heals and gives you damage reduction. I'm not sure if that's worth it to run even on a support build. It destroys enemies. Maybe it's not viable on something that spams ultimate skills. Maybe would make the time warp of support Chronosmith even more. Let's say you can't fight it anymore. I'm not sure. Maybe. Okay. So what do we have? Blightbringer. Gain stacks of Rhea's virulence when you inflict poison on a foe. After reaching the maximum number of stacks, the next time you inflict poison also inflicts additional conditions on nearby enemies. Okay. So you get stacks when you inflict poison, and after you reach 5 stacks you do some more poison and cripple and weakness. Seems like not that relevant. I mean, it's quite dangerous if you put a lot of stuff on them, but it's a quite aggressive relic. I mean, I think you could take that on some Thief or Necromancer builds, or maybe some Ranger builds where you have a lot of poison application to cover your condis. But it's an 8-second internal cooldown per enemy, I think. And that's AoE. I'm not sure. I think you have to test it, but you have to take into account that even if this relic is good, you can't use another relic. So you will waste the relic slot if you just use this for damage, and you would have survived with a defensive relic. That's much better. Interesting. I'm not sure. You have to test. Relic of the Claw. Deal increased strike damage for duration after you disable a foe. I think this is for sure. That's a really good one. So almost all classes have some kind of CC, and especially if you have strike damage builds, power builds, you want to burst them after they are CC'd. That's actually without internal cooldown. It's insane. That's actually broken. For sure the best relic in this so far. Okay. What do we have? So what do we have? Storm Singer. After using a movement skill, your next attack creates an arc of chain lightning that strikes nearby enemies. Okay. Very wild. Very wild. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure. I don't think that's... I mean, the damage is probably way lower in PvP, but still. One-time attack that kills a few enemies, I think that's really weak. I'm not sure what's the idea behind this is. So I think that's it. Let me check. Oh, I missed one. This one. Your lifesteal damage and healing is increased. Lifesteal damage and healing, 15%. That's interesting. That's really interesting, to be honest. I think that's for Revenant, who has a high lifesteal, and Necromancer with blood, and of course Untamed with the Carnivore trait. That's interesting. I don't think it's the best choice for those, but it could be fun. Okay, interesting. So after quite some testing, some of it on stream, be sure to check out my stream in the top right corner. I found that only 2 of the 6 new relics are, let's say, good enough to use, at least in PvP. I think the lifesteal one is quite nice, but it's not working for most builds. It's too weak. And the relic of the rivers is good. It gives you alacrity on dodge. It only works in combat though, but it will for sure make some builds more bunkery and more sustainable. So I tested it as, for example, on Strength Warrior. The spear looked really strong. Let's see how that ages, but it's probably also carried by the fact that Bunker Spellbreaker is a thing. And the next good relic is the one you see. This one is quite nice. I think it's called Relic of the Claw. And it gives you damage after you disable an enemy. And it gives you for 8 seconds, I think, 7% more damage. It's really good. It's not, let's say, that flashy, but it's a good damage buff for, let's say, power builds, of course. And it's also the one that it's the most promising one in PvE. So that's my first impression of it after a few hours of testing. And that's my impressions of the relic so far. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this video. And thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.